with the police, is in the public sector also, is expected to retire at 60, and the coalition of united political parties are saying if the president will not let him go the day he turns 60, then they are going to start protesting. So, a lot of things about our security services this morning, and we are going to talk about those and talk about other things with my guest who is already seated in the studio. I mentioned the fact that he's a publisher and was an activist. Now he's involved in politics. Coordinating the movement called Take It Back. Mr. Omoyele Sowore, you're welcome to the explain.
Thank you. Good morning. Thank you for bringing me to the show. Good morning to listeners in Abuja and all over Nigeria.
Hijacks power.
Yes.
Of course, you see that it's a psychological connection between that headline and what happened yesterday in Nigeria.
Just to make it important, when the military hijacks or wants to hijack power anywhere in the world, they go directly to radio stations, they go to newspapers, they hijack, the news medium first before they even go for the presidency or the barracks where the president is based. So it is not new, and that's why, as an activist who has been around in the 90s, I'm familiar with these tactics, and I know that there are other undercurrents when you see the military starting to act out of their purview in the public space. But most importantly is for Nigerians to reject this totally. It is an acceptable conduct for military to go to any newspaper or a radio station and close it down because they don't like the reports over it. It's not the job of the military to do that. If you find out they've done something that violates whatever official secret acts you have, you ask the police to intervene. And we have enough policemen around, we have enough plainclothes agents in town to do that. But in general, I am totally and diametrically opposed to any form of intervention or interference within the media space by governments. But this government started this whole thing by introducing some operations that will start in the middle of the year. At the beginning of this year, I think it's one of the military operations that are expanding nationwide. And we had cautioned that this is just a way of starting a clampdown, first on the media and maybe eventually get to voters in the election year.
But the presidency made it clear, that probably necessarily wasn't in support of what happened, because the presidency immediately reversed what the military did, ordered them to leave the media houses. I think we need to put all those things in correct perspective.
I understand, but the question you ask yourself is, when they say presidency, like this former secretary of the Federation said, which presidency?
No, who is president?
Who is the presidency? You know, so you don't know which arm of the presidency ordered the invasion and the arms that are ordered that they should leave. But what I read from the military this morning is still very disturbing. They are trying to justify it and saying that they might likely prosecute the people that were arrested. So they have not released the journalists, to the best of my knowledge, as of this time.
Yes, but what I want us to bear in mind is, look, rather than politicizing this thing and say, oh, it's the government that is sending them, they've been doing this thing even before election became close. You remember they are spat with UNICEF. You remember they are spat with Amnesty.
Yes.
To be honest, a lot of people will observe that when people start having issues with UN agencies and Amnesty and all those things, those are not things you see in genuine democracies. It's tyranny when people start saying, oh, UNICEF go, Amnesty go, all these kinds of things.
That's what I was saying.
But they are developing this trait.
Yeah, there's a trait.
And the way other people will interpret it is, look, the military is under pressure. Maybe they are not handling the pressure well.
No, I don't think so. I don't think the military is under pressure. We must try to dissect this within the context of what happened in Gabon today. And I'm serious about it. When the Nigerian military wants to try something Sydenews, they start testing the waters, you know, and trying to see what is acceptable and unacceptable to the public. They understand that the public temperature will not accept their conduct, but they don't rule it out that don't rule it out that this might have some other undertones. That's what I'm saying, that we should be very, very cautious about what they're doing now. They're not under pressure. If they're under pressure, they should unleash their angst and anger against the terrorists that they are fighting in the Northeast. That is where to show that you're under pressure. Beat them to their game, defeat them, and then, the public here will understand you. But when you start coming to town to tell newspapers what to write, you are giving some signal that there's something going on that we may not exactly be interpreting correctly.
Okay, we'll leave that like that. The CUPP is saying that if the Inspector General of Police, Idris, is not let go by the middle of this month when he turns 60, that they are going to start making trouble. What's your view about that?
I don't want to speak on behalf of CUPP. I don't trust the coalition. I don't believe in them. I run a presidential campaign that is distinct from the CUPP. We call them in our own palace cup of sorrow. They are the same people who brought about the culture of allowing police officers to spend more time than they should in office. You remember the people in CUPP were the PDP people years ago, and under their own government, they extended the tenure of a Himdero. I remember after he was supposed to have retired. They extended the tenures of several police officers. They are the ones that institutionalized the impunity that we're observing today. And that is why I want to urge Nigerians not to take them serious. You should look in our own direction, the direction of younger, fresher candidates who want to take this country to a highest level, not the next fraudulent level as they are claiming. So what I'm saying is that I am totally for the removal of the police Inspector General after he has expended his energy and time and his constitutionally available time. He should be let go. But I'm not going to pretend that my position will be defined by that of CUPP. I don't trust the CUPP guys.
Should you change the head of police 4 weeks to an election?
It doesn't matter. What if he dies? What are you going to do? Yeah. So he's not the head of police, as a matter of chieftaincy title. He's head of police, as required by Nigerian law. And if his expiry date is even the day of election, the right thing to do is to remove him and put in we are saying to ourselves that only one person can be the Inspector General of Police in Nigeria. That should not be the case, right? Thousands and thousands of policemen who are qualified to be IG. In fact, this IG came in and a lot of police officers were retired who were above him. And he came in, and if his tenure is over, they should let him go. Bring in another competent police officer to manage and continue the work of policing in the country.
Okay, still talking about the
yes.
police. I'm sorry. Last week we saw how the situation between them and Senator Dino ended. We saw how he was arrested and fell on the floor, they dragged him on the floor. This is a citizen of Nigeria. Let's not even say this is a senator.
Let me tell you, we have mediocrity everywhere. And I think what Dino was capitalizing on is the mediocrity of our policing system. In fact, Dino is ridiculing our police institution based on the way his case was handled. There was nothing wrong with Dino I can tell you that for free. Falling on the floor is just a dramatization of that ridiculing of the institution of police. If it was somewhere else, Dino would have been put away a long time ago. The police didn't need to have extended the drama. But you know why? The police, there are sections of the police that are working with Dino There are sections of the police that don't like him. So it's all these forces that are contending. When Dino claimed that his neck was broken and he had a collar around his neck, well, in the US, he went to a club in Atlanta, removed it at the club, put it in the where you check in your coat, and they started boogieing right there in Atlanta. After he finished boogieing, put on the collar again, came out of the club. In Atlanta, you can ask people who saw him at the club. Dino is a comedian. He has his own humorous value, but he's also telling the story of quality of leadership in Nigeria.
So that's Dino.
Yeah.
The other issue that trended up to the weekend was that of Amina Zakari.
Yes.
So, do you think it matters whether somebody is a cousin?
Oh, it does. It does. I think any impression that the electoral process will be tainted by either nepotism, tribalism, or even acquittance, that somebody will be sitting with sensitive electoral materials that is seen to be biased, we must immediately take steps to remove the person. If not remove the person completely, remove the person from those sensitive areas. I think it would have been in the best interest of even Amina herself, if she had integrity, to step aside and say, at this time, I recuse myself. You saw that with the former Attorney General in the US, who was asked to select or participate in the investigation and possible prosecution concerning the Russian scandal with Trump. He recused himself. That's what decent people do. You don't have to do, the moment you are tainted in any way, even if it is that you lived in a house for 2 days with Buhari before, and he's having an election, you are not entitled to be the one counting the votes or announcing the results. So in that regard, I think it was...
She's neither counting the votes nor announcing the results.
It doesn't matter. If any semblance of bias in an electoral process, I think people have been able to prove beyond reasonable doubt that she might have some bias for the president. She's not the only person from the household who's working in government. I also heard her husband is running for, because I can't confirm this under APC. Again, I can't confirm this. I heard the Minister of Water Resources is from the same household. That is enough. What we want in the eyes of the Nigerian public is that you're running a free and fair election. There's no reason for us to bifurcate or be splitting hairs as to whether they are blood relatives or they're just friends or they're just, somehow close or they weren't close at the time. The explanation as to how close they are is ridiculous.
Okay. So much for the headlines. Now, we are going to talk about your campaign, about your programs and things like that. But before we get into that, I would just want to have your take on how the campaigns are going on so far, because a lot of people are saying, look, they can't feel that there's an election
coming up in 41 days. That's true. So we are the only ones campaigning. When I say we, people in the African Action Congress, we have done 32 states. During the first set of campaigning before we became a political party, we went to all the 6 geopolitical zones in Nigeria, that's the Northeast, the Northwest, North Central, Southwest, Southeast, and South-South. And since they lifted ban on campaigning as a presidential candidate, I have also been to about 4 geopolitical zones now. We've done Northwest, haven't done Kano, we've done the South Side, we've done Port Harcourt, Bayelsa, we passed through Bomadi, Patani, Kayama, and then got to Warri in Delta State. And we've also done Adrekiti, which is part of the Southwest, and we've done a number of flash rallies. Started in North Central a few days ago, we were in Kaba, and also in Makoja. The other political parties combined haven't done more than 6 rallies. I'm talking about the APC and the PDP. The one they tried to do in Port Harcourt was cancelled because I heard, I can't say this for sure, but I heard that the money that was seized was for the rally, so they didn't have money to do the rally. I heard the EFCC seized some money that was meant for the rally, so they couldn't do the rally. But they are not campaigning because honestly, they have nothing to campaign on. They have nothing to present to Nigerian people as a record. They have nothing to present on the integrity side. They have nothing to present on the program side. So they're all just hiding away from the public until that period when they can go back and buy votes on election day. And I hope Nigerians are watching it, that these guys are not speaking to your aspirations or your hopes. And they're just there hiding in the corner, hoping that they will ambush you on election day, having destroyed you with hunger, poverty, and starvation, and hope that you take some crumbs from them. But we are campaigning, and we hope that Nigerians are seeing it. But I must say again, and I say this all the time, the Nigerian media has not done a good job of servicing the Nigerian populace with the real truth about the campaign. They don't cover people who are speaking to issues, who are debating and discussing issues. They cover the 2 main failed political parties. We're here before you because you reached out, out of, in some cases, benevolence. We're not here on a regular basis. When you heard about us and you see that things are going on, you probably heard about the fact that we're excluded from the campaign, the debate, the presidential debate, deliberately, so that the kind of things we have to say, our voices will not be amplified to the nooks and crannies of Nigeria, where they need to hear about the good news of what we have to offer. These other guys have nothing to offer, so you can't blame them when they have nothing to campaign on. Even when they go to their campaign rallies, they just go in there, they parachute into the rally, they wave at the people, and then they leave. But that's even a transactional engagement because people get paid heavily to come to this rally. I read Baba Femi Ojudu the other day, who is a former journalist and an APC operative, talking about how difficult it is to organize rallies, even for the big parties, because people are expecting to be paid heavily for everything. But the reason people are asking to be paid is because they know they have nothing to offer. So instant gratification has become the order of the day. So it's what they call rub bumbo. You rub my back, I rub your back.
Okay. Listeners, we are hosting this morning on the X-Ray, the presidential candidate of the AAC, that's African Action Congress, who was a student union leader in the University of Lagos in the 90s, and the publisher of Sahara Reporters, Omoyele Sowore. Now, you talked about other people, let's talk about you.
Yes, sir.
So, what is it that you tell people in these campaigns? What have you brought that is different?
Yes, we have been telling them things that have been exciting, and the response has also shown that people are actually surprised that there are people in Nigeria, politically speaking, who are so prepared. So what do we tell them first? Is to say for how long I have been around as a political operative, not as a partisan politician. And I'm sitting next to you because I knew you in the 90s when you were at NTA 7 in Lagos, when I was a student union leader. I remember, I think it was around 1990, there was a coup. Oka had just taken over, and we went to you and protested, and you told us, I think you told our leader, you told us that we should leave on time because the coup had failed. If we hadn't left 15 minutes after you told us, we probably would have been mauled at the gate of NTA 7, because the soldiers had foiled the coup and they were coming for or to secure the NTA, and they would have taken us for coup plotters, pretty much. They would have really shot us on side. That's how long I've been on.
Yeah, just as an aside. I mean, so people can understand if we get emotional about things that having to do with soldiers going to
the media house. Exactly. So you have been caught in several of those events before, and it could get pretty ugly very quickly. Yeah. So I've been around for 30 years. By 2019, I've been around for 30 years, fighting for what is just and right, starting from 1989. The event I was describing to you was about, I think it was in 1992. It's 1990? Yes. So, and we were part of that. And then we fought against military rule, and then ensured that Nigeria had democracy in 1999, 10 years later. And that's between 1999 and now is 20 years. And within that period, fought against third term, fought against, complacency in the media. That's how I started the media company. And also done a lot of protests, been part of a lot of organizations, groups, and helped consolidate democracy, fighting, corruption at every level, including ensuring that some elections in 2015 were free and fair. So that's what I tell them first. And we move on to the next level. What can we give to Nigeria to lift Nigeria out of the doldrums? Because we are at ground zero right now. And we have 10 programs, of which security is major, number one, power sector reform, especially electricity, which we plan to step up from 3,000 megawatts to 24,000 megawatts, and which we know and understand is possible within 2.5 years. Providing jobs through infrastructural development, we're looking at about 5 million jobs. We're looking to build 17 million homes, both, all of them affordable housing, investment in education, health, agriculture, all of what we are planning, including fighting corruption and also restructuring of Nigeria's stance on 3 planks, security, self-sufficiency, and sustainability. These are programs that we'll be discussing with people both in Nigeria's lingua franca, English, in some cases, a lot of local languages, and people are buying into the ideas. There's nowhere we've been that people have not stood and listened to us, and we've been to markets, we've been to universities, churches, we've been to palaces of traditional rulers, and we've done open rallies, we've done town hall meetings, we've been everywhere. We've been in Nigeria, we've been outside of Nigeria, including visiting over 15 cities in different parts of Europe, America, and here on the continent of Africa as well. I went as far as Australia to campaign. So we've been on the campaign circuit doing so well and doing strongly. And we just hope that Nigerians are conscious enough to understand that this is the best opportunity we have to change gaps.
Mm. Okay. Now, when you are at the University of Lagos, yes, I think what put you in trouble the most was the issue of the fight you had against cultism.
That's right.
At that point in time. Looking back now, and looking at the present situation of Nigeria, the problem that was emerging on the campuses then, do you think we were able to conquer that problem, or it does seem as if it has jumped into society in general?
And this is exactly why I was fighting cultism. I went back and read an interview I granted in The Guardian in 1994 when we took over the anti-cult movement on campus. And I was agonizing that the problem was spread onto the streets. And that has happened. If you go to the streets now in Lagos, almost every street is owned by a cult gang. And it's bloody out there. I knew that it would happen. But what was the most important and immediate to me was to ensure that all the students at the University of Lagos at that time, that nobody got hurt or injured or killed or raped. And that I succeeded in doing, but it almost took my life. As you're aware, they ganged up against me, the school authorities, the police, and the government. And because they didn't only see me as an anti-cult fighter, I was also fighting against the military. So they had my plate was full. My hands were full with all kinds of struggles. And the gang government, it was easy to gang up against me because then it was easy to claim that, it was a court that killed Sowore and not the government. But whereas it was the government, in fact, the attack on me was led by a police officer who was also a student at the university. And we later got documents that link the police commissioner of Lagos at that time, James Dambaba, with my attack. He eventually spent time in jail because he was one of Abacha's hitmen. So, but I'm completely happy, satisfied that I achieved that. Nobody was killed while I was the union leader. The year I left, they were killing kids like flies on campus.
Yeah, I mean, at that time, because you were on campus, and this was largely a campus
issue.
Yes. I'm not asking you to name names. Looking at our leadership structure now in the country, do you see people that you knew as cultists who are now in positions of prominence in this society?
Several of them, yeah, I do. I won't, like you said, I have to protect your station from all kinds of libelous, attacks. I can handle it, but I'm in a different space now. Yeah, I see a lot of them. Some of them even come up to me and say, look, you tried, but we're the ones running the show now. But there was nothing that I did at that time that I won't do again. And that's why we need to move, into the leadership of the country, so that people who necessarily are not in those kind of conventions or bondage are not ruling the country. Because some of them have become judges, police officers. They're in sensitive positions in the country, and that's why at the slightest provocation they'll kill anyone if we are not doing their bidding.
Okay, now let's talk about those of you that you knew. Politics is expensive. Yes. How are you paying your way?
We're raising funds publicly. By last night, we raised close to 100 million naira. And this never happened in the history of Nigeria. The Nigerians will donate to a political cause. Usually they collect. But it's a combination of strategies. We're asking Nigerians abroad to donate through what they call crowdfunding, through GoFundMe. Over there, we raised over $123,000. The intention was to raise $2 million, but we haven't reached anywhere close to that. But it's commendable and encouraging to find out that people will wake up and set aside funds for the Sowore campaign. That candidate tried it and it didn't work, except for another very ingeniously devious way that the APC tried it by claiming that they collected money from farmers. Everybody knows that was a scam. But we also have a local account where people are dropping in money, and we've raised almost 53 million naira from that account. It's any bank account that we have out there. And every night, or every other night, we do a Facebook live show to announce our donors and how much we're making. So I think the transparency of how we're announcing it makes people, it's encouraged a lot of people that this is politics done a different way. Would I have expected more money to support us? Yes, of course. We were hoping that we get up to 400 million naira locally and $2 million internationally to support. It's still a drop in the bucket, but what is interesting is that people are not asking us for what they ask traditional politicians like Babafemi Ojudu and the rest of them, because they know that they're in the business of taking care of the public treasury and taking care of themselves. They ask them, it's kind of a prepaid relationship. But for us, nobody's asking us to fry akara and bean cake, or give them pap, or give them ankara or branded rice. Nobody's asking for those.
Then do you think people are taking you seriously?
They do, yes. They take us seriously to the extent that they will meet us everywhere we go. They take us seriously to the extent that they will donate. There are people who donate 200 naira, and it makes a lot of difference to me, because if someone donated 200 naira, 100 naira, or 500 naira, that's probably all they have. And they're investing in your political philosophy, or or agenda, something they think will bring back the kind of support that they look for. It's like investment in hope. So a lot of people are hoping that this country will change, and they're making that investment. They take us serious enough to be afraid that they don't want us to be in the debates. If they didn't take me serious, they would have gladly allowed me to come and debate, and the debate would have become inaudible. But they know there's no way I'll be at the debates, and they will not spark a lot of conversation that otherwise don't happen in the country.
Yeah, but what people talk about often concerning politics is you have to have a structure on the ground, and you have to have people manning polling booths in every polling point and all those things. With the kind of money that you're talking about, you probably may not be able to.
No, we're talking about money that reached us. We're not talking about money that have been invested directly. A lot of people are volunteering their vehicles, houses. We have representatives everywhere. For you to become a political party in Nigeria, you must have representatives in at least 25 states. We have that already, and we've doubled and tripled and quadrupled that. We have people everywhere. We have polling agents who are volunteered and that we're processing as we speak. So a lot of people are on our side. I'm just telling you transparently how much we've raised that has come to our own wallets, and which is what is fueling our travels around the country. I will tell you here that I have been to more places in Nigeria in the last 9 months than the president of Nigeria has been in the last 4 years, even though I don't have a private jet. He has got 9.
Okay. Listeners, you can join this conversation by calling 0818 999 1011. 0818 999 1011. And our guest this morning is Omoyele Sowore, presidential candidate of AAC. Now, there was this issue that was reported in the media. Okay. The call came in just now. There was this issue that was reported in the media that you actually said that you are going to legalize marijuana, cannabis, and things like that. Can you clarify?
No, I didn't say I will legalize marijuana. I spoke at a health fair in Abuja here that instead of burning marijuana, we could export it to countries that are looking for them. Marijuana has become recently gold. And just as I was finishing that statement, about 2 weeks later, Canada was legalizing marijuana. South Africa legalized marijuana. Ghana also started putting in place the framework for exporting
So
marijuana.
will you legalize marijuana?
We will export marijuana under our government. And let me shock you for that the Ondo state government is having conversations secretly with marijuana growers to export marijuana. Marijuana will bring in nothing less than $4 billion to the states growing into Nigeria. Every year, the NDLA burns 1.5 trillion naira worth of marijuana. What are we wasting our resources on when we can make money off of it?
Okay, let's take a call. Good morning. Hello? Are you still there? Hello? Good morning. Okay, keep calling. The number is 0818 999 1011. And I guess it's Omoyele Sowore, presidential candidate, AAC. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning. How are you?
Very good, very good. What's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is I'm calling from Dubai.
Dubai, okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to comment Sowore. These are kind of things we are missing in Nigeria. It's just like we have been blindfolded by what has been going on for years. But if you see the ideas he's coming up with, then it's something that we in Nigeria need to embrace. Because, we have come to this stage without even listening to the truth anymore. Look at our government. Look at our laws. No light in the country. How do we move forward if we don't have all those things? How can a politician come and give you right to vote for them? That means that right they are giving you and the money they are giving you, they will take it back when they move into power. media people to move forward. I'm sick and tired of living outside Nigeria. There's no place like home. So, we need to listen to the idea this young man is coming on board with. He used to be in America. He left America to come to Nigeria to support this country to move forward. I think it's a time we need to start saying the truth. And the media needs to support this cause. Because the fact is that the media are not reporting what is going on in the country. There's a killings everywhere. When will this stop? When we have the wrong people and the wrong power. And to pray that God will help this country. Because there's no place like our country. We are blessed with everything. But we have the people suffering in that country. I pray that God will help this country to move forward. It hurts me every time seeing people dying of hunger. You go to hospital, you can't get ordinary drugs to treat yourself. And all your children are in abroad enjoying. Come to this country to buy. See how they are wasting our resources in this country. I pray that God will help us and open our eyes to see that these areas have nothing to offer us. May God bless Nigeria. So keep it up. We love you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Happy New Year. Thank you.
Okay, the number is 0181-999-1011. Hello. Can you please stay away from your radio?
Yes, sir. I'm away.
Okay, go ahead. What's the name?
I'm very grateful with that guest.
Yes, please tell us your name and where you're calling from.
You should make this possible for us in this country because they are all politicians that are trying to meet up with our own country.
Yes, sir, but before you start, can you tell us your name and where you're calling from? We need to know that.
Yes, sir.
Please tell us your name and where you're calling from. Oh, it chose to drop. You can still call back. Hello? Hello?
Hello, sir.
Good morning.
Hello.
Good morning.
Is this, can I speak to Sowore?
Yes, it's there. Yes, is here live. But, okay.
My name is Kevin. I'm calling from Sweden.
Wow. Okay, from Sweden.
Yeah.
All right, Kelvin, go ahead.
I want to just talk about, first of all, Sowore, I recommend you as the president of that country. I've been following you, Facebook, Instagram, everywhere. And I have seen the good work you're doing at this moment. I've listened to you several times. And I have seen that you are the kind of person who works in that country. You see, here in Sweden, where I am living with my family. As much as I have taken this country, I even said that I'm going to denounce Nigerian passport because I don't want it again because that country destroyed my life, destroyed everything about me. So I have found a very good life here in Sweden that they have given me what my country could not give to me. Sweden gave it to me. I will give you, for instance, my child. I have twins, 2 girls, right? One of them was born. And one of them came out, water broke at the age of, I think it was in 4 months of weeks. And this child, as I'm talking to you, this child, Sweden saved this child. This child is alive today. And nothing is wrong with this child, and I did not pay for anything. Everything about this child is free. But not only they are still paying her, they are still giving her extra money for being born early. Do you understand me? So these are the things I have received in this country. They have given me that everything I wanted. The hospital where she was admitted, where they did everything. For the fact that I was going there because the hospital was like 30 minutes away from my house. For the fact that I was paying transport to this place, they paid me all the money I spent in going to that place.
Okay.
Even if I am working, I am paying that. But still, these people, they will give you the life they have never had. Let me tell you, let me give you for instance. You see Sweden. Sweden is lacking trash. Those people they throw for Nigeria. Sweden is lacking trash right now. They go and buy trash from this neighboring country, this poor that country. Why? Because
Okay, Kevin, you have to round up now, please. You have to round up so that you can just make one final call.
Okay. So if Nigeria know what is good for them, this is the time they have to put all these old men out and put a young man that has dream for that country, a man that has been away from that country. So this is the time that Nigeria should change. Thank you so much for
Okay,
thank you for coming
Hi, Calvin. Happy New Year.
Hello? Hello? Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning. My name is Rabiu. I'm calling from Kado.
Okay, Rabiu from Kado. Please, yes, please go ahead. You don't have more than 20 seconds.
Yes, okay. I supported him, my brother. Please let him keep up all good things that he has in mind. Even though he can not be able to do in 2019, let him keep it up. After when his government reduce funds, so he can come and add from where they stop. Please.
Okay.
I'm pleading with him, let him keep up. He not feel, even though he knows, but by God grace he will not lose, but let him keep doing it. Please.
Yes, Rabiu.
The kind of people that we need in Nigeria, there's nothing that is at hard.
Thank you very much, Rabiu.
Thanks for it too, my brother. Please
Yes.
keep it up.
Your last caller this morning, and we just have a few seconds left.
Yes.
And I want you to address, I want to take it up from where Rabiu left.
Yes.
The way it's going on, elections can go either way.
Yes.
But to be honest, a lot of people are not giving people like you a lot of chances this time around. However way, whichever way it ends, are you going to, what happens if you lose?
There's no losing this election. I don't see how people cannot wake up in 41 days and change the direction of their lives. You see, people tell me all the time, what about we wait till 2023? And my question is simple. What gave you the impression that you will live up in 2023 under this regime, under the circumstances that we have now? So if you have a choice to live a great life and live beyond 2023 because of the new government that's coming that puts things in place that will enhance your lifestyle, that will enhance your longevity, why won't you go for it rather than vote for a bunch of politicians that are not going to fix your roads, that would destroy your life the way they've been doing it, or make your life miserable?
Yes,
I think people need to overcome their cynicism that it is possible to vote these guys out and that we're here to rescue the country. There's no need to be cynical about it. People have registered to vote, you have your PVC. While our party is number 3 on the ballot paper, it's even easier to vote for us than to be looking for the failed parties at the bottom on the ballot paper. Vote for the party that will rescue you. Vote very quickly, fast, and ensure that by 12 noon that day or even by 5 p.m. you have a brand new president and a brand new country.
Okay, thank you. But that caller is a fundamental issue.
It's driven by cynicism. It's fine.
It's election. Even the best of candidates lose election.
That's exactly
so should it not work your way this time around? Is that all?
No, not at all. And look, I've been involved in politics, but not partisan politics. Since 1999 at the University of Lagos. I'm part of all the people that fought for democracy, and I'm still fighting. So how could that happen? What was our report as a political newspaper? It's part of an advancement of my political engagement with Nigerian people.
In 1 or 2 sentences, how can we aggregate the energies of those of you who are new forces this time around?
We hope that they'll come around. I think it's obvious and clear to the new forces who the main new force is at this point. We are the only ones who, within 9 months, created a movement, then have our own political party. Our party was announced with 23 other political parties. We are not hearing about it. We even met somebody yesterday who is a mainstream politician who said there are only 3 contestants in Nigerian presidential election: Buhari, Atiku, and Sowore. I'm not making it up. That's what the polls are saying out there. That's what people are talking about. But vote for the right person. Don't vote for the old cargoes who are not going to take you anywhere. Or vote for people with fresh ideas, new ideas, and you can do it. Nigerians, you can do it. Just do the right thing, as they say with Nike. Just do it.
Yes. Now you are campaigning.
Yes.
And I would not be surprised if you get a bill from the marketing department.
They've lifted the ban on campaigning, so we're
presidential candidate of the AAC, Omoyele Sowore. Thank you very much for coming for X-Ray this morning. We wish you all the best of luck in your campaign and wish you further luck in the election. Keep it up, like people have said. Thank you very much, listeners, for staying tuned again this morning. We'll do it again tomorrow. My name is Jerome Ifali. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you so much.
Apologies about the volume, people were in the studio, so there actually wasn't anything I could do about it. Stay tuned, we still have other programs and other events for today, so turn on your post notification and join us as soon as we say we come online. Till I come your screen again, I'm still your favorite TV girl, Zainab. Bye bye.